First thing first, folk visualizations and folk affirmations. I'm gonna tell you something that has been proven to work, and it has helped me a lot when it comes to brainwashing myself. Let me go back to when I was 4 years old. It's the first day of school, and I'm really excited because I'm gonna meet people. I'm gonna have fun with the kids from school. The only thing is that I started a little later than everyone else. So everyone else know each other and all of that, except for me. I am the new guy. Since I am new, they put me on one of the last seats next to a guy named Luis. So I met Luis, and I'm just like fucking around with him. We're being so loud. We're just talking, making jokes. He has toys, so we are playing with the jokes. I was just being myself. But then there was a good-looking girl in front of us. I remember clearly that she literally turned around and she looked at me with kind of like disgust, and she was like, oh my god, you're so weird. And when she said that, I felt like so deeply disgusted and rejected by her. And I was like, oh shit, like I guess I cannot be myself. And that day, that's what I call the spiritual death, because since that day everything changed in my life. It changed the way that I would talk to other people, that I would talk to other girls. And not only that, but within like 2 weeks, I experienced bullying. Here's the thing. Problem was never the bad events that happened to me when I was a kid, right? That I was bullied by fucking teachers and my peers. The problem is never the experiences themselves. The problem was this, the beliefs and the conclusions that I drew about those events. For example, since she was pretty, she was the popular girl, and she had like high social status. My conclusion, I was a little kid, I had an unrealistic conclusion about the event that happened, right? I thought, oh my god, if she's thinking that about me, that means that all girls will not find me attractive. That means that I am awkward, or there's something wrong with my personality because she's rejecting my personality because I'm being myself. That means that when I talk to other girls, they're not gonna like my personality, or they're not gonna like me as a person. And it happened. I grew up fucking believing that there was something wrong with me. I grew up, I would always date the ugly girls because I would be like, no, I cannot date that girl because she's too pretty for me. This is what the expert called the core beliefs, which is basically, the core beliefs are how I see the world, right? So like someone else could be next. We can see the same girl, right? But I would react and I would see that in a different way than this person. This person would be excited. This person would be like, oh my god, I'm gonna talk to her. I think that I can get her. I think that she's gonna like me. And then I'm here trying to avoid the situation, trying not to talk to her because she's gonna see that there's something wrong with me, right? So those are called personality. That's how personalities are formed. So what I had to do, go back to the past, and this is what they call shadow self and CBT. I had to look at the past with both, right? Because it might be tough. I cried, I felt anxious again, right? I recall those emotions again. I look at the past and those events, and I change the meaning of the things that happened. For example, imagine if this girl was vibing with me. If this girl was like, oh my god, I really like his personality, he's being loud, he's being himself. What would be the conclusion? I would have a different conclusion, right? Imagine if she was vibing with me. My life would have been completely different, right? But no, she was not vibing with me. So the conclusion that I can draw now is, okay, maybe she doesn't like guys that are loud. But if there was another girl here, maybe she would be like, oh my god, he's too handsome and I got a crush on him because he's himself, right? Maybe she was not vibing with me, right? Because not everyone is gonna like me. Yeah, she didn't like me. So there will be other people that are gonna like me. That would have been a realistic and a healthy conclusion of that event. You know the phrase, everything happens for a reason? So I try to use that phrase for everything, right? My dad had to be verbally abused, and he had to abandon me in order for me to become a great father, in order for me to become a great brother. And they look up to me. They're like, oh my god, like they come up to me for an advice and all of that. Why? Because I had to have a bad father. When my dad would ask me to do something, he would like yell at me every single day just because I would do something wrong. Or just because he would be like, oh, go and get me, I don't know, my shoes. And then I didn't know where they were, or I couldn't find them. He would yell at me. He would be like, why didn't you find them? This and that, right? He didn't have patience. My conclusion was, and I grew up believing that I always fuck things up because of my dad. So now I changed the conclusion. I'm like, I was a little kid. Of course, I was not gonna find things. Of course, I was gonna fuck things up. And that experience helped me to see mistakes in a different way. When I make a mistake, I'm just learning. It's part of the learning process. It's part of winning. And I just gotta learn from my mistakes, right? So that's what I would say. I know it's tough, but I had to look at the past with both, and I had to change those beliefs. And don't be shy. If you need help socializing or become your true self, send me a DM on my Instagram, and I can totally help you with that.